What is going on? Hello, Marina Simone here. I'm honored. I'm a little nervous, but I'm honored and I'm excited that Ray and Jess asked me to be a part of this incredible influencer branding event. Can we just talk about the power of people that he has bringing the heat? I was like, wait, you sure you were talking to me? You wanted me on this? You wanted me on this thing? Because I am excited. I've been working with Ray and Jess now for, oh my gosh, since 2018. Yes, because I was pregnant the same time Jess was. And I just have to tell you, I've learned so much from both of them, and I've grown so much because of both of them. So being here today to be able to talk about branding and talk about how I built my brand since 2017 and 18, and now here we are in 2022. I'm so excited to share all the goods of how you can start branding from zero. To start talking about how you can start branding from zero. I want to be clear. When I used to hear the word be brand forward, not the word, but the phrase be brand forward. And what I used to hear all the things about you need to be, don't be a walking billboard for your company. You need to brand you, not your company. I rolled my eyes a little bit because I didn't quite understand what it meant. And I thought that was just for influencers, right? I was like, oh, those are the people on Instagram with the really pretty pictures. And they all match. And that wasn't me. And still to this day, that's still not me, even though my shirt is matching my backdrop. So high five for me that I color coordinated, but I usually don't do those things. And so I was really intimidated for a very long time about personal branding, about the word branding, and then putting personal with it, which meant I had to be personal. Was a little scary for me. I don't know about you, but that was a little scary, right? So here's what I want you to know. I'm going to bring the goods today that's really going to help you identify the person that you're going to talk to based on the brand you're going to build. And I want you to know that it's going to be a process. I want you to know that you've got to go all in with this, and that you can't expect instant gratification results. You've got to be in it for the long term, with Bitcoin and crypto. Inside joke between me and Ray. Okay. You got to be in it for the long haul, because instant gratification is something that society has literally created for us with social media and with all the things we literally have the world at our fingertips. And so I know you want to build your bank account from your fingertips, which is cool. You can totally do that. But I need you to truly step into and embrace the process, because it took me a minute to build my personal brand, and it's going to take you a minute as well. Sound like a plan? So let's get this party started. I need you to understand three things first, okay? One, there's the person that you were, there's the person that you are, and there's the person that you want to become. That's some take you to church kind of stuff. Wow. That's kind of powerful when I listen to that for a second. Okay, so let's start with the first one. Who you were. And I have my notes. That's why I'm looking over here. I always have notes. Even people have notes. Got to keep it. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So who you were. So let's talk about who I used to be. Nobody wanted to make money with the person that I used to be. Nobody wanted to be influenced by the person that I was. I was the chick who used to accept tips, but now I give them, right? I was bartending. I was blowing fire. I was a really good bartender. I've got to just put that out there. I used to blow fire with the 151, and then I never lit my nails on fire. So that was pretty cool. But I was partying all the time. I was hanging around gang members. Yep. Gang members. In fact, I was actually engaged to the leader of a gang and had to testify against that ex back when I was 18. And so I was known for my past, who I was. What's the point of all this? What's the point of this story? The point of the story is that if I expected to build a successful business legitly, like a legit business, like with legit money, that wasn't instant gratification, by the way, that was going to last, that was going to be leveraged, I had to have a new identity. I had to reinvent myself because nobody trusted or wanted to make money with the chick that danced on bars and hung out with gang members. You know what I mean? So what does this mean for you? Maybe your story isn't as crazy as mine, where you had to testify against gang members and you were dancing on bars. Maybe that's not your story. High five. Good for you. Your mother must have loved you, because my mother was terrified of who I was and what I had become, because she raised me to be completely different. But let's look at your past for a second. Let's look at the person that you were. There are people in your life that are looking at who you were and they're judging you. So we've got to build and reclaim a new identity, and we've got to reinvent yourself. Social media gives you that opportunity. Like, it's insane. Like, you can be whoever you want to be on social media. Okay. So one, you look at your past story. Then number two, who are you right now? So if I look at who I am right now, is that the person that I need to be for the next step in my branding? So a lot of you are like, okay, fine, I get that. Like, I get my past is kind of defining like who wants to work with me, building that personal brand, building that influence. But who I am now is not that person. So what? Okay, you're not that person. However, you've got to now attract new people. Okay, so we're not the past. We definitely don't want to attract people that are like who we were in our past. We definitely don't necessarily want to attract someone like us now who doesn't have influence. We want to act as if. I love when my mentors talk about acting as if, because this was a big moment for me of deciding who was it that I wanted to become. Who did I want to be? How did I want to show up in the world? How did I want to show up in my business? How did I want to show up on social media? How did I want people to look at me and think about me? What did I want them to think about me when they saw me? Now, let's not get that confused with we have to care what people think. I don't mean that. I don't mean like I let other people dictate their opinions, dictate my success, because that's never going to happen ever again. I did that for way too long. However, right, I do want to have a posture, a certain posture that I want to have for the person that I want to become. So I want you to, first of all, think about who's that person that you want to become. So even me, like every like 90 days, I like to reevaluate my personal brand, reevaluate the message that I'm giving, reevaluate what I'm putting out there, and decide what are some of the shifts and pivots and tweaks I need to make in my messages, in my messaging, and how I show up and what I'm saying to get closer to the person that I want to become. And so when I look now at the person that I want to become, it's not about just money. It's not about building a bigger following or being famous, because that actually gives me anxiety. Like the thought of like people thinking I'm like famous or whatever. I'm an introvert, so that gives me freaking anxiety out the yin yang, right? But when I think about that next step for me, it's bringing that next generation of leadership up with me, mentoring women that are where I was to get to where I am. So in order to be that, I have to have vulnerable conversations that bring me back to the person that I used to be. Have those vulnerable conversations and be willing to look in the mirror and look at the things that I did wrong. Look at the things that I had to change and be willing to talk about those things and be vulnerable about it. So that's my next step, right? And I want you to know, I just want to say a huge thank you to Ray and Jess for this, because they both helped me really bring out my true story, my true self, and not have shame around my story, not have anger around my story, not feel like I was duped and feel literally like, oh, like this is just my life and this has always happened to me and this is just my luck, right? Like Jess and Ray, like I love you guys. Thank you so much for truly helping me step into my story and truly be who I am authentically in myself, because that was a big part of my branding that was missing. And so I'm grateful for both of you for that. So I want to share just some strategies that you can use when it comes to starting your brand from zero. Okay. First strategy is always like my brain, like my mind. Like I need to know this is how I'm going to show up consistently. And so what I mean by that is like, where are you going to show up consistently? And so if you can just be really clear and commit, and I know Ray has done like a live video every single day of his life for like the last 100 years, insane. And then I go and I look at like, okay, what have you done that's like that? Well, I've never missed a day of posting. I'm in my stories every day. Now it's a reel or a it's well, not TikTok, but a reel every single day. But I have conversations every single day with new people. Why? Because I want to bring brand awareness. I want people to become aware of who I am. In social media, you can do that, right? So I want you to get your mind right first. First strategy is always going to be like, embrace the suck. Know that it's going to take a minute to go from zero to hero with your personal brand, and be okay with that, because as you evolve, so will your brand. As you grow as a human, so will your brand. As you identify more and more like what you love and what people love from you, you're going to evolve. Number two, you're always going to think about, when I create a piece of content, I want to talk to the person that I was yesterday and not the person that I was 5 years ago. This is important. I need you to understand this part, because this held me back for 2 years. I kept talking to the girl that was dancing on bars, partying, and hanging out with wrong people. What do I mean? Mentally, I was still there. And so I kept talking to that person. Well, I don't know about you, but when I work with people, I don't want to be working with people I have to drag, the negative Nancy's, the boo-hooers. Like I want to work with people that are ready to be mentored, that are ready to be coached. But how can I expect that if I'm talking to the person I was 5 years ago? I don't want you talking to someone that you were 5 years ago or even 2 years ago. I want you to talk to the person who you were yesterday with your content. How do I mean by that? Vulnerable. Here we go. Ready? Yesterday, I had to do some really deep kind of social media work. Like, so I went onto Google and I started at looking at, why are my panic attacks coming back? Why are my, my anxiety, why is my anxiety getting worse? Like, what are some things? Like for me, I go through these moments of up and down with my bipolar. By the way, I am type 2 bipolar. And I've been diagnosed with type 2 bipolar since I was 16. So running a business and being a mom of a preteen and a toddler at the same time and running multiple 7-figure businesses is a lot. I am medicated, so we're good there. But for me, I had to do a self-reflection yesterday. And so something that I shared with my team and with my community and my viewers and on my email list and whatever was sharing a vulnerable moment of knowing that I don't have it all together and letting that keep me together and being okay with that. So that's like a real moment that I had. Well, I want to share that today. I don't want to share that 10 years from now, because I want that to help somebody who's just like me, who might be just 5 minutes behind me. So who were you yesterday? That's who you're talking to. Okay. Number 3, when you hear talk to your niche, find your niche, don't freak out. I know a lot of you freak out. I know for me, I thought I was my product and I branded myself around my product. And so I was like the girl with the shaker bottle. And I don't ever want to be that again because I am so much more than my network marketing product. I'm so much more than just a trainer or a coach. There's a lot of parts to me. Like there's an umbrella of this brand. And I want to be able to be all those things. And I want to encourage other women that are building businesses online to be all those things. Be a good mom, be a good wife, be a great leader in your network marketing business, have other entrepreneurial opportunities, build wealth, which I'm just now learning about. Let me just keep that clear. How to make your money work for you. Like all these things, right? Like I want to be able to do all the things and I want to be able to teach all the things. So you have to master one thing before you can do all the things. That's how I want you to think about it. So what's the conversation that you're going to master? That's what I want you to think about. What's the conversation that you want to master on social media? So for me, it's busy mom slaying online sales. Great. But before it was that, it was the mom who was stuck in a cubicle wanting to sit on a throne. That was always my conversation. So that was definitely a conversation starter, by the way, because so many moms were chained to their cubicle because I missed my daughter take her first steps. I was chained to a cubicle and that was my story. It still is my story, but like I have different stories I share at different times. So what's the conversation you're going to master on social media? That's your niche. That's your niche. It's just a conversation. Get off your product for a second. Your conversation is not weight loss. Your conversation is not skincare. Your conversation is to the person using the weight loss, to the person using the skincare. That was a big freaking aha moment for me when I was like, oh, if I were to sell this light to my person, this is how I would sell it to them. Here's the conversation I'm going to have with this person about this light. Same thing. Here's the conversation I'm going to have with this person about this phone. So write that down. What's the conversation you want to have and who's the person you're having it with? And I want you to focus on that when you're creating your content. Because then if you want to post about your product, you're thinking about who you're posting it for. When you want to talk about something you went through yesterday, who are you talking about it with? When you're talking about struggles that you have as parents, what type of parent are you talking to? You can build a brand from zero to hero with patience, resilience, vulnerability, and trust. Building a trust with your audience, you will build super fans. When you build trust in super fans will share you and they will celebrate you. I am one of Ray and Jess's super fans. I share what they do. I love what they do. I learn from them and I respect them and I trust them. You do too. That's why you're here. You trusted something that they've done for you at some point. That is a part of the personal branding. That takes time. It takes effort. And I promise you, if you don't give up, you will build a personal brand that makes an impact and builds a story that truly matters for other people. And I'm excited for you to see that. I'm excited to see that. So I am so grateful that I got to be here, share a little of my brain. I know I can go a little bit like ADD over here and all those things, but you know what? Hopefully you got something good out of this. Hopefully you understand that instant gratification is I liked the long run. I like the long haul. I like it. I love it. I'm excited. And I know that you're going to love the rest of this event. Thank you so much for having me, Ray and Jess. I love you guys so much. I can't wait to watch the rest of this. I'm ready to take notes myself over here. I got pen ready to go. All the things. Thank you guys. I love you. Bye.